we are celebrating the release of the first debut Cypress Hill album. I was there when it first came out. I recall actually having a club called The Jungle on 330 Rich Street and working at KMEL. And we were promoters as well. And there was this new group called Cypress Hill that no one knew where they were from but us. And they came up to the Bay, and you couldn't tell where they were from because of their sound. At that time, and Super Cat was out at that time, and there was a bunch of other groups that were out at that time. And I remember watching these guys perform and going, man, I feel like we're on the brink of a new era with sound, the aesthetic, even how they performed, even having like live percussions on stage with them. We hadn't really saw that rock like that. But most importantly, I think they introduced the world to a bigger variety of what you can expect coming from the West Coast. Conceptually, everything about them, what Cypress Hill stood for, even being advocates of cannabis and having to take the bulk of that backlash back in the day. The grunt, they were on list. They were outcasted. They were stigmatized because of the support of cannabis. But none of that backlash or whatever that they received could supersede the success that they had from what they contributed to this culture. And anytime you could be here 30 years later and people are still excited to talk to you, excited to see you, they could sell out concerts to this day. Tens of millions of albums they've sold. Branding, the Cypress Hill logo was an incredible brand that to this day still stands out. Everything they've done has been successful, unique, distinguishable, and they did it their own way. And we have one of the members, Sen Dog, with us today to celebrate the 30-year anniversary on the same day that we celebrate the birth of hip-hop from August 11th, 1973. They dropped their album August 13th, 1991. Wow. We got the one and only Sen Dog from Cypress Hill here. Sen Dog, Cypress Hill.
Wow.
Yeah,
man,
boy.
Wow. Thank you for the introduction, man. You make me feel special, brother. Thank you, man.
Come on, Sen, you are special, man.
Yes.
I get chills, man. It's funny, man. Every time we all see each other, and sometimes we do these interviews as of late, I never feel like I walked away fulfilled. There's so much we could talk about because of the decades that we've known each other, but I could put a lot of shit into context. You know what I mean? Like I was there, and success at that level wasn't easy back then. And even listening to this story that you talk about working at Kodak and Muggs convincing you to become a member of the group. I'm curious to when you guys first formed, what kind of reception did you get? Did people instantly receive you?
No, man, it was the opposite. Actually, we didn't come out with our strongest single when we first came out. We came out with a song called "Funky Feel One" with "How Can Just Kill a Man" on the B side, and the record didn't really sell that much, man, for the first 6-7 months. That's when we was out there with Third Base and Naughty by Nature and Tim Dog, just humping every night, trying to get noticed and people to recognize our record and whatnot. So it was like, a little bit of hard going, tough sledding, if you will. Those first few months before Kill a Man happened, we were out there paying our dues. Like, people don't see that part of it. They just see when your record blows up and, you're on MTV and you're touring and whatnot. We had a lot of months of, McDonald's and Waffle House and all four of us in one motel room and all that good stuff, So it wasn't easy by all means,
Four men in one room. Who got the bed?
Right.
Well, you slept head to toe. One guy slicked one guy, the other way sleeps the other way. So like head to toe from the B's feet were by my head and my feet were by his head. That's how we had to do it, man.
That's the way to do it.
Wow.
Let me ask you this: you mentioned Naughty by Nature. You mentioned Tim Dog. Tim Dog at that time had a song called "Fuck Compton."
Wow.
Right?
Sure did.
And this was in the heat of the so-called farce West Coast, East Coast controversy. How did y'all talk to Tim Dog about that song? What did y'all say to him? Being from the West Coast.
Actually, when we got to the label to Rough House, Tim Dog was already one of the signed artists there.
Uh-huh.
And he already had this song. They played it us guys on Cypress, we're not really shocked by anything or anything like that. We're just like, oh wow, he's gonna catch some shit behind this. But we weren't really like shocked or any surprised or anything like that. So when they had the idea of us of Tim and Cypress and going out on the road with Third Base, we were with it. We were hungry. We just wanted to get out there and do something. It didn't even matter what, So it with the fact that Tim was going up there singing that song, I mean, to us didn't really mean nothing to us because we're from LA and a lot of people say that in LA, but it was
so,
more like let's just go out there and make our own mark,
So because it was called Fuck Compton and y'all was from LA, it didn't bother you? Is that what you said?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Yo, that's so wild because he's saying that because I'm with Sway saying, what's up? It's Heather. How you doing? Like, it's crazy that you touching on that because I used to be at shows in Cali and didn't understand just geographical what that all meant. I was like, yo, people can say that out here, but then you go back a few years earlier, like when KRS said the bridge is over. You could play that everywhere except for in Queensbridge. You understand? It was just like a regional kind of thing, Sway.
Yeah. But, Heather, Compton and L.A. are so close.
Yo, Brooklyn and Queens are close. And they'd be like, yo, the bridge is over.
So, okay. All right. So we
that's facts. Unfortunate.
Yo, so Sen Dog is here from Cypress Hill. So let me ask you this, Sen.
Yeah.
The Funky Phil one was the joint, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
That's what we started playing on the Wake Up Show. That thing, the Funky Phil one, that was the joint. I'm curious because, right? And so, did y'all have a hard time because y'all were? What is everybody's background? You're Cuban, right? What's your background?
Yeah, I'm Afro-Cuban, and B Real is half Afro-Cuban and half Mexican, and Bobo's Puerto Rican, and Muggs is Italian.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a hodgepodge, a melting pot of people. How was that received when people saw y'all and the way B Real and you guys rapped? It was, did y'all catch them off guard?
I think so, man. Yeah, man, we caught them way off guard because the formula had not been seen or heard or, even experienced at any given point. So people were like, why is this guy's voice like that? Talking about B Real's voice, and we just thought, we thought it was dope from the first second we heard it. We were like, oh my God, this kid's flow now is incredible with this nasal thing, but it took a while for it to catch on, and it wasn't until, the label started releasing our more, rebellious and dangerous material like, Pigs and Stoned is the Way of the Walk and How I Could Just Kill a Man and Hand on the Pump and things like that we got the better reaction. Like, I'm not saying Funky Phil wasn't a great song. It was a good song and everything, but How I Could Just Kill a Man and Pig just got their own vibes, you know what I mean? And I think that's what the world was waiting for us to do something that would shake them, in other words, you know what I mean? Like, get a hold of their bodies and move them around physically, And that's what How I Could Just Kill Him. That's what I Could Just Kill a Man did for the world, I think.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Biz.
No, Sen, thank you for clearing that. I thank you for just correcting something. My ignorance, for some reason, I just thought all of y'all were Mexican, and I don't know why I thought that, but
they're from L.A.
I did too. I just thank you for that history lesson there culturally. Were you guys discriminated against because people may have thought, like I thought, especially being from the East Coast, about for your heritage? And secondly, when you hear, like Sway said, 20 million albums, over 20 million albums sold.
Probably more than that.
Yeah, it was always more. But when you hear people talk about some of the greatest hip-hop groups of all times, have you guys ever felt slighted, just on a larger scale, if y'all's name wasn't mentioned? Because listening to you talk right now, I mean, my goodness, it's historic with all the things that y'all done and all the ground that y'all broken.
Yeah, well, I think I don't know if we ever had like a serious amount of like backlash or anything like that. Like, I think we just stood our ground and refused to see anything else. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it was go ahead. It was all Cypress Hill or nothing. And we just, whatever bad review we got, we kind of just shook it off and kept right on pushing. And I think you have to have that mentality that, you can't be delicate in this business. You can't be sensitive or any of that because you're never going to last. You know what I mean? So you just got to, whatever they say about you, just keep it moving, keep it pushing. Whether it's bad or it's good, just keep on going and moving and pushing, And as far as like the record sales, like, we never thought that we'd see millions of record sales or 30 years in the game or anything like that. So all that kind of like caught us by surprise, especially with the success of the first album, and then the success of the second album. We were like quite blown away. We were like, whoa, what's going on around here? And when stuff like that happens, first of all, you have to, thank the musical gods, for blessing you with talent and the right people around you, because no band does it on their own. You have to have lawyers, managers, labels, accountants, good homeboys that got good ideas for you. Not let me just get in with Sen and B and let me see what I can get off of them and what I can make off of them type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta have this whole unit around you of people that help you become a success. You never do it by yourself. So when the record sales started coming, I always looked at it like as a blessing. And, my mom would always tell me, like, that's a blessing, son. You have to, give thanks for your blessings, because not everybody can sell records like that, and not everybody gets a chance to. So we looked at it as, these fans have, blessed us by buying our album. Let's go hit the road and as much as we can and show them that we appreciate them and, show up for concerts no matter where at. They book us, we go, we do it, And it's a beautiful thing to think that 30 years ago we started something that would eventually sell millions of records, and it would help Latino artists, open up doors for Latino artists and whatnot, And to what you said, Heather, about you thought we were all Mexican. We all grew up right there near East LA and all that stuff, and where I grew up at and where Muggs grew up at, it's predominantly a Mexican neighborhood. You adapt. You adapt their styles of dressing, talking, or dancing, whatever it is. Because Mexicans got style, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So you kind of like adapt to what their get down is, and before you know it, that's your way of surviving through those concrete jungles, is adapting to the language and the looks and all that stuff. So when they see you coming and you got your pants creased and you got your Chuck Taylors on, and you got your beefy T-shirt on and it's creased up and everything, they know you're no joke just by the way what you got on. So
Wow.
We never took an offense that people thought, we were all Mexican or this or that or the other. It never bothered us because, we grew up right there with them.
So, did you grow up in Southgate? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I lived in Cuba for my first 7 years of life, and then my dad wanted to get out of there, brought us to United States, and then we were pretty much Southgate from that point on.
So Mellow Man Ace, right?
Yeah.
That's your brother.
That's my younger brother, and people get it twisted because he came out before I did.
Yeah.
So they think that he's the older one, but in reality, I'm the oldest nigga out of all of us. Like, on let's get it right. Let's say it the way it is.
Yeah. So Mellow Man Ace had the song, HB, you remember this?
Yeah.
Mentirosa. And that thing was huge. And so the younger brother blew up before the older brother. Did he used to rub it in your face?
No, not really so much rub it in my face, but like, when you go on tour with Julio G and, I would stay behind
Shout out.
Drop him off at the airport and pick him up at the airport. And I kind of felt like that was a little bit, too much. But my mom was like, one day I was complaining to my mom about, man, what am I, a limousine driver or a taxi driver or something? She's like, you know what? For all you know, when your band comes out, it's going to be the biggest thing in the world. Now go get in a fucking car and pick up your brother.
That's a mama for you.
I love it. Shout out to Julio G, K-Day, West Coast Radio. Julio G is a straight-up pillar in the game. Has always been solid, breaking a lot of and supporting a lot of the culture and the artists that are that have come from the West Coast. We got Sen Dog from Cypress Hill,
Crazy.
ladies and gentlemen. Tracy, you want to ask him something?
Yeah, I absolutely do. What up, Sen? Congratulations
What up?
on 30 motherfucking years, bro. I'm wondering.
Thank you.
We were speaking about Beyonce. She was on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, and she was sharing how it takes her like a year of listening to thousands of production and just new instruments, etc., for her to decide what the sound of that album is going to be. And so I wonder if having, you know, a team, if that makes that process of figuring out your sound for that moment faster, or does it make it slower because there's more, you know, chefs in the kitchen?
Well, I'll tell you what, with the Cypress Hill guys, that's always been a way for us to move faster, because we have one guy in charge of that whole area, being DJ Muggs. Mm-hmm. You know, and I kind of would look at Muggs kind of like, you know, the Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin of hip hop at that time. You know what I mean? Because he was just that mysterious, and you know, he'd give us beats, we'd do songs, we'd come back a couple days later, and the songs were completely turned around. You know, so Muggs was the guy that was on point for us throughout all those years, and we never had to worry about, you know, musical tracks or anything like that, because we had, you know, in my opinion, you know, one of the top 5 guys producing for us in the band. So it was like, you know, when Muggs says he's got the music. Okay, let's go listen to it. Until then, you know, go on and ride your lowrider, ride your motorcycle, spend time with your kids, because what he calls us, it's work. So, you know,
right.
in that aspect, you know, we were very, very, very blessed to have, you know, a guy that, you know, would turn into like a, you know, a producing kind of genius, if you will. You know, after a minute, I felt like he could do it with his eyes closed, or while he took a nap, he could produce beats, or, you know, I was like, man, he's just really feeling his game right now, and he's filling it out well, you know. So that's how the whole, for me, that whole thing takes shape. And like, I have to listen to like all my favorite rappers of all time before I go in and make a record. Like, I got to listen like to Rakim, Chuck D, KRS, you know, you feel me? Like E40 and all those guys. I got to listen to all those guys to make me feel me, to hype me up. Okay, these are my generation guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, their rhymes still kick ass, so let's go make some, you know, some badass music, you know?
Absolutely. DJ Muggs, we had him on not too long ago.
Yep.
His sound, Cypress Hill, Everlast, Funk Dubious, Soul Assassins, Jizza, Planet Asia, Ill Bill, all these different folks he's worked with. Incredible. You named a lot of these guys, man. I'm curious, because Cypress Hill, you know, you guys had tremendous success. You've had some controversy. You've had some beefs. And I know this has been talked about before, but I'm curious to, at one point when Ice Cube and B Real were going at it, because B Real felt Ice Cube took some things from him, and it's well documented. I'm curious to, now that we're older and we're grown and everybody's successful, did y'all ever get a chance to sit and talk with him, and how did that turn out since then? What's the relationship like?
Well, yeah, you know, we actually have. We've actually done concerts with Ice Cube, you know, in the distant past, you know, and whatever Be Real and Ice Cube talked about, I wasn't there at that conversation. All I know is that you know, one day B tells me like, hey, we're not beefing anymore, we're good, and I'm like, okay, cool deal, you know, whatever. And at that point, we still had a long ways to go before we actually got back on stage together. You know what I mean? Just squashing the beef was one part, and then, you know, the healing and everything, and then, okay, now we're good to hang out. Let's do some shows, you know? But it was never, I don't know, man. I never really felt like it was a thing that it was going to, you know, take birth physically, and guys were going to get into each other's faces and knock each other out and whatnot. I just felt like, you know, these were two top-notch MCs, having a little bit of a tiff or whatever, you know, and we'll figure it out and keep on moving. So, you know, when you know, you got to remember too that Ice Cube was one of Cypress Hill's biggest supporters when Cypress first came out.
Early on,
everywhere that he went, he made sure Cypress was with him. So I could never really, I just can't turn my back on stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the guy helped us out. I'm not fronting. You know what I mean? So, I'm just glad that whole thing passed and no one, got, messed up or hurt or anything like that, because I honestly really, really did have respect for Cube. And I'm glad that, that I can say that I still do, because, we were able to get past all the stuff that we went through and everything, and all the name calling and bad words and whatnot. It's when you're a young guys, you're young men, and you got a little bit of power and some popularity, and sometimes things get out of control and out of hand and whatnot. And as you get older, you get to realize it, like, you know what, that's the real stupid shit we done, and just try to fix it. You know what I mean? So big up Ice Cube and Dub C and all those guys. We got respect for them, and they got respect for us, and you never know when we're gonna turn up on stage and do a show together. So I'm just happy that it's all good like that now, and we could actually get a chance to see each other and perform and whatnot.
And
which is what it's all about.
Yep, and look back and appreciate these legacies everybody built, and appreciate this future that we stepping into. 30 years later, we're celebrating Cypress Hill, the debut album. They've had plenty of albums. Every year we're going to be coming back celebrating the 30 year now that this happened.
No doubt.
Soon we going to be celebrating 30 years, and you're going to be like, yo, this is 30 Black Sunday, 30-year anniversary. You know what I mean? Yeah, so
Word up.
I want to take some callers real quick. And Sen Dog is here. This is legendary. We got Jay on the line from L.A. Jay, Grand Rising. Jay, what's up?
Hey, why?
Yo, what's up? Good morning, peoples. Good morning.
Grand Rising.
Hey.
Good morning, Sen. Hey,
all right,
Sen,
brother. What's going on, man?
I just want to give you your props, brother. I'm from Southgate too. One of the little homies. This is AKA Turtle. You know what's up.
Turtle.
I ain't talked to you for a minute, bro.
What up, Turtle?
What's up, bro? I just want to give him his props. Street legend. You guys mentioned the Academy's not giving them their awards, but the streets gave them their awards. That's why they're in the game for 30 years. They don't need all them accolades from all the higher ups. The streets gave them the credibility. Sen, B, Muggs, they've been in the game for over 30 years. That speaks volume on the work they put in, not only for the culture, but for the city of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah, I love that, Turtle. Hey, man, that was. Wait, hold on. Who's that? Oh, that's who's somebody radio's up. Hey, Turtle, man, we appreciate you. You got to turn your radio down though, okay? Oh man, Turtle, AKA Turtle, man, Turtle.
Yeah.
Turtle, aka Turtle.
I'm pretty sure I know Turtle there, that Turtle guy. I'm pretty sure I know him in Southgate somewhere.
Yeah, well, he said he knew you, so I thought I'll make a reunion. Sometimes it could get scary, though, after 30 years.
Big facts.
Here's a good question right here. This is Carlos from North Carolina. Go ahead, Los.
Carlos.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? I was listening to Lord City the other day, and your one of the affiliates of Cypress Hill was on there, and they were asking him who would be a good versus for you guys, right? And he couldn't think of anybody, and I was thinking like the only group that I could think of that could share a versus with you was probably Wu-Tang. Had you ever considered a versus for Cypress Hill?
You know what? We talked about that briefly, and we came to the same conclusion. It would have to be like Wu-Tang or like Red and Meth or something like that. I think that would pair up well. I really do.
Okay. All right.
That's interesting. Red or Meth. They did theirs.
Thank you very much.
That's interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
Carlos, thank you, man. You're a citizen. Let's think
wait a
about that.
minute.
Cypress Hill. Who would they go up against? Let's go to the phone lines. We got Dre on the line. Dre is from Texas. Grand Risings, Dre.
Hey, Dre.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
Hey.
Good morning, Heather B. Good morning, Sway.
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Grand Risings. Oh, we got a citizen.
Grand
Okay.
Rising.
Hell,
Hey.
true indeed.
I just want to say to Sen Dog, I'm a Latina from Corpus Christi, hometown of Selena. Anything for Salinas. So, anyways, I just want to say I'm a Latina. I went to Lollapalooza '95. I met Cypress Hill. They were outside with the video camera. I hope to see that on the documentary. And I'm gonna get the book. I'm gonna get the album, the new one that just came out. I just want to say thank you, Sen Dog, so much. It's just from Latinos, you and Be Real and the whole crew, DJ Muggs. It's such an honor to share the ethnicity with you gentlemen. It is amazing, and I just hope to see the documentary soon, guys. I really want to see it. That's all I can say. So
There you
I just
go.
want to say thank you.
Thank you, Dre.
Right.
Talk about the doc and the book and the things she mentioned, Sen Dog.
Well, the documentary is being directed by the world famous Esteban Oriol, who he toured with us for many years. He was our tour manager, our photographer, our video guy, our counselor, our head shrink, everything that you'd want in a person that you want to trust out on the road with, he did for us. And it's gonna come out really good because Esteban's a perfectionist. So I just want to give him a big shout out there. And the graphic novel is gonna come out soon too, and it's also based on the early years of Cypress Hill, like around the first album, before we took off and how that process was. And there's some really good stories in there, some great graphics as well. And then we have a deal with Stan Socks that we did a Cypress Hill collab with them, and those are pretty fly. And then we have we're working with Montejo Beer on a collab with them too, and getting out there and building up their company and trying to get people to recognize and this and that. So we're busy, man. We're trying to keep our Cypress Hill brand alive and well throughout the whole thing. We're that band. It's hard for us to just all of a sudden let go of our work ethics and say whatever. It doesn't happen that way. The more older we get, the more insistent we are on nurturing our brand. So it's to me it's like it's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life besides the birth of my kids, and I want to take care of it. And I want to nurture it. I want to see it grow and grow and grow.
Wow,
that
man, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Sen Dog here. We're celebrating 30 years, the 30-year anniversary of the Cypress Hill release, the debut album. Damn, Sen Dog's line just cut out. That's crazy. Oh, well, he just called right back. Let me see if I can pull him up. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull him up. Yeah, hold up. Let me see if I got Mike Muse. Is that Mike Muse? Mike?
Hey, it's me.
Oh, that ain't Sen Dog. That's Mike Muse, guys. That's Mike Muse. Hold on,
That's
Mike.
my dog.
Hey.
Okay. Sen Dog, you there?
Yo.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm at a truck stop in El Paso. We're on our tour right now, and we're stopping. And we stopped, so the reception's a little dodgy here.
Okay, that's okay, man. But what you were saying was you protect your brand. It's the best thing next to your child being born, and it's fed a lot of people, and you've inspired a lot of people around the world. I'm just curious, when you travel, and we heard Dre call and talk about Latino representation. How are you received around the world?
Oh man, that's wow. When we go to Europe, it's like you remember Run DMC in their heyday at the top of their game?
Yeah.
And how big they were?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel when we go to Europe,
Wow.
Wow. And in South America, man, they treat us like gods over there, like kings, we're their dudes, you're the guys that represent for us. We're their voice, and they let you know that. They bring you their babies to hold them and take pictures with them and whatnot. And
I love it.
Yeah, he's on tour right now, y'all.
I love that they on the road,
about to hit the stage.
Talking. I love it.
Yeah.
That was my tour bus driver guy. He told me he's moving the bus. So, yeah. So the treatment around the world is really nice, man, and we've been able to, do big festivals and, perform with bands like Kiss and Metallica and along with them with all of our heroes like EPMD and and Chuck D and Flav and all the Public Enemy guys. We've been able to do all that stuff. So we're that one band that could cross that line and and entertain on different levels like that. And that makes me very proud of our guys, because we all grew up, listening to everything that was on the radio, not just, R&B, soul, and hip-hop. We listen to, rock and roll and everything. And in my house, they were always playing salsa music and all that stuff. So we always wanted to, I always wanted to just be a well-rounded musician. And instead of just listening to one thing, I want to listen to everything. And my bandmates are the same way.
Well, I'm curious because you guys came out in '91, and I remember Joe released Flow Joe, the Represent album in '93, Fat Joe, and being from New York, and then Big Pun, of course, came right after Fat Joe. What was your relationship like, just from a Latino connection back then?
Oh yeah, it was good, man. Like when we would come across each other, it was almost like we were from the same hood, kind of, because we had so many things in common. Not just being Latino, but also being Latinos and trying to break into the hip hop game and whatnot. And Pun was always very nice to us, and treated us with respect and kindness. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I've always remembered about him was that as big as he ever got, if he's seen you somewhere and he could be 100 yards from you, he's gonna shout you out like yo, and you got to love that kind of a attitude towards life, because not everybody has it. You know what I mean? And so when you see it, you gotta appreciate it. And we always got, to this day, we're still good with Fat Joe. Whenever we would see each other or anything like that, which reminds me of a dinner that we had in New York many years ago, and it was all the Cypress Hill guys, and Estevan was there, Fat Joe was there, and I think so was Big Pun, and so was Eminem, all at the same dinner. I was looking around the table like, wow, how did I get this lucky, man?
I went from Kodak. I went from taking pictures to making pictures, right?
Exactly, brother. Yeah.
Wow. What y'all talk about? Like, who was? Do you recall that? I'm just nosy.
Well, I remember Be Real and Eminem and Joe were talking about who the world's greatest MC was at the time, and things like that. Just everybody giving in their opinion on who was their favorites and who they thought was the best and whatnot. And me back in those days, all I cared about, was my next beer. Hurry up and bring it to me. So yeah. But it was all about hip hop and the love of hip hop, and where guys thought that hip hop was going to go to next, and what region of the country we thought was going to blow up next, and who was going to make that next impact and whatnot. And it was all about hip hop, the industry, the business, everything, and that's why all those guys that I just mentioned, Fat Joe and Eminem, like, they're still around, like, they're still doing things. That's because they're hip hop addicts, you know what I mean? So there's no reason, it's no wonder, the reason they've been on top for so long.
Man, Sen Dog, Cypress Hill. Mike, you want to ask him a question before he's on tour? We got to let him go. He's about to hit stage. But Mike, you got a question for him?
Yeah, it's great to talk with you. And I keep hearing how you're saying, what I'm hearing is representation matters, and how everyone comes up to you in South America and holds the babies and want to take pictures with you. But I'm just curious, in particular with the lady who called from Latinx and said, what you mean to her. What does that make you guys feel? Like, what do you feel? I know you talk about how you make people feel, but how does that feel when you hear that caller who is Latinx and talks about the impacts you guys had on her life? What does that do to your soul?
Man, yeah, I'll tell you what, if a black man could blush, I would have been blushing all over the place, because, she really said some really, heartfelt things there, and her words were very kind and very honest, and the part where she says, that, she's Latina, and we made her feel as like, her race mattered, her person mattered, that type of thing. That's the most kind of special, compliment you could get, ever, is that you uplifted somebody's life and you made them feel good or better about themselves, and that really that's what it's all about. It's making people feel good about their situation, and you write these songs not knowing that they might help someone down the line, who might be in peril or in a serious situation, and it might be thinking about doing something stupid. You get those moments where, like, that moment of clarity, it all comes together. All of a sudden you see a picture. It might be just for a few seconds, but you see it all come together. It's like, oh, I see why people are saying that, you know, our band has helped their life and whatnot. It's not just a cannabis thing. It's a spiritual thing. It's a human being thing. It's, you know, that kind of a situation. So I always look at it like when I sit down to write something, you know, don't just write a rhyme. You know, try to write something that means something to you in your head and your brain, because it's going to affect someone else's life down the line. And that's the beautiful thing about music and hip hop in general, is that you don't even know what it's going to help, how it's going to help people or uplift people. You're just trying to create the best thing that you could create to be on your record. And down the line, it's going to be something that helps people survive. And I think that's the most beautiful thing about what we do, is the whole human aspect of it, and what it means for kids in like Quito, Ecuador, to have their favorite band, Cypress Hill, travel all the way down there just to do a show for them. You know, it means a lot more to them than it does to us. But when I'm on that stage, I kind of feel as I'm one of them, like I'm part of that city for that night. And so I gotta get on down for them. You know what I mean, Sway? I gotta be the best I can be, man.
You gotta bring it. Come on, Sen. You got to bring it, bro. And you've done it for 30 years, man. And we want to say salute to you, your legacy, and continued success. Y'all my brothers, so you know what it feel like, man, to know what it was then and what it is now, and still being able to be here and celebrate it with you is amazing feeling, Sen. And tell the fellas, I know they're on the road with you too. Tell them we love them. Congratulations. Can't wait to see y'all in person. All right?
Yes.
Hold on 1 second. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Hey, fellas, Sway and Heather B said, what's up? What's up, y'all?
Hey.
What's up, y'all?
What up, man? That's Muggs. Muggs, what up? B, what up?
Hey.
Hey, what?
Guys.
Hey, Sen, be real with you right now.
Yeah, it's Bobo, Sen, and Be Real.
Bobo, what up, baby?
What's going on, black dude?
Hey, you already know it, family. Good to hear your voice. Hey, tell B. Remember the gift he gave me when he came to the studio last time? The skull? I need another skull.
I got you.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I got several other flavors for you.
Ooh.
Okay, B. You went a little too deep. We live on there, B.
It's lollipops, bruh.
Okay, cool. B, I'm going to get at you, all right? And congrats.
Right.
Hey, fellas, congratulations.
Holler at me when you get down this way.
You already know it, man. I love y'all, bro. Congratulations, man. I'm glad I'm a member of Cypress Hill. Let's continue to celebrate, all right? All right, 30 years in the game. Give it up for Cypress Hill.